with life, I guess. Like it's satisfactory. It's not great. And then I have my good days where like I'm proud of myself. I actually can look in the mirror and be happy with myself, you know?
Right. Good.
Like, I still can't, you know, I still find that I can't really look in the mirror and actually, you know, tell myself I'm beautiful, I'm worthy, and actually really, really mean it. Like, I tell myself that because I think that one day I will actually believe it, like genuinely actually believe it. So I tell myself that.
So you use affirmations. Yeah. Well, you are beautiful.
Thank you.
And you are worthy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I don't just mean that from a physical standpoint. I think you've got a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
And I knew that before meeting you because, you've been hooked up and you're willing to come on here. So keep telling yourself that because it is true. And don't let that... I'm the same way, and I think a lot of people are. It's you don't want to be cocky, right? You don't want to be like... You don't want the ego to kind of reach out and be like, oh, I'm the best looking guy in the world, or I'm the best looking lady around. So we kind of want to reel that in because the ego is not a good thing. It's really not. But having self-confidence is. You don't need ego to have self-confidence. You just need to love yourself. So as long as you love yourself, I know you've got a lot of lovers out. Well, maybe the wrong way to say it, but a lot of people that are loving this podcast and loving you for sharing your story. So you did the CBT, and is it the CBT that did all this for you?
Pretty much, because the medication, like I never found anything that really worked for me, and my doctor was like, "Oh, you now have mild depression." This is like back in October. I had moderate, and now like I saw my doctor like a week ago, and he says now I have mild. So
how did they test you for that? How can they give you that? Tell me about that because I've never heard that.
Really, there's like almost a checklist kind of thing, like symptoms you kind of just check off and like you rate.
Right.
And you kind of total it up, and then you get like a number, and if it's like in between these numbers, you're mild, these numbers moderate, these numbers it's severe. So I went down, I think, quite a bit from moderate to mild. So.
And you actually believed your answers? You weren't just like thinking of them as saying the better answer or anything like that? To make you fit that category? Because, I mean, you know how you kind of like... Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes in that moment, who's to say that that's not a good day and then the next day it would have been different, right?
Yeah. The thing with that is also, like, it asks you within the past 2 weeks, how have you... Like, this is your rating, right? And
so it's not just on that day?
No. And so, like, even if, like, I felt... Like, it asks you about suicide and stuff. If I felt suicide, like, maybe 4 weeks ago, that wouldn't have picked it up, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, that's troublesome. But, like, yeah, I feel a lot better, right? It's not just, like, he told me, like, I'm better. I genuinely feel better.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Do you think that... When did you finish the CBT stuff, by the way?
I think maybe May.
So it's fairly fresh in your brain, a lot of it. Okay. Do you think that you're going to have to continually practice a lot of that stuff?
Oh, definitely. Like, they tell you, like, you have to read it over and over again to actually, like, get the effects of the CBT, right? You can't just read it once and, like, forget about it, right?
No. Well, you have to... The way that it's been explained through the program that we're kind of doing is that negative thinking and anxiety, depression, all that stuff, the way that you think is a bad habit. And it took you... You're 20 years old, right? So it took you, and this started when you, as far as you could remember, 4. So that's a total of 16 years where you've been training yourself to think negatively. So it's gonna take time and practice to untrain that, right? And then to reposition it so that it's positive stuff and the healthy stuff that's going in. So that's the way that it was kind of explained to us with our CBT program. And I totally get it. But the one thing that I will tell you is that this is only a 15-week program that we're doing, and this is the 3rd time I'm doing it now. Every time that I do it, I kind of remember some of this. The first time I did it was the most effective by far. I became like a whole new person, but the world kicked the shit out of me again. So like I had to. If you don't practice it, you will go back, and that's unfortunate. Like it will. There are things you'll learn that will never go away, but if you give up on practicing it, the world, unfortunately, is still a pretty negative place to live. There's a lot of good in the world. Don't get me wrong. It's still a beautiful world out there. But we're constantly hearing about this shit on the news and social media. Like, it's always negative. I mean, there is this awesome sort of uprising of, like, cute animals and positivity and stuff like that coming on, which is great if you just focus on that. But unfortunately, there is shit that happens in the world too, and that's part of life. And you said that you're having you went from having shitty days to good days. And the thing I think that's kind of realistic to remember here is that we weren't promised happiness every day of our lives. No one said that life was easy, and no one said that life was fair. And so as long as we just kind of lower the expectations that the world owes us something, you can live a great life regardless of where you are. And so I want that for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So anything that I can do to help you in your journey while you're in London. Where are you from, by the way?
I'm from Mississauga.
Mississauga, because I saw when you called me, it was a Toronto. It was
647.
647, right? So you're just here for school?
Yeah, and I'm here for the summer just because, honestly, because my brother's at home, I don't want to talk to him because I actually just cut him out of my life.
Right.
He's just, I can't even look at him. I don't talk to him.
And that's just because he just won't let up on you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he has always been like, at first growing up, it was physical abuse. And then I found that at the same time my self-esteem issues kicked in, that was when he kicked into his emotional abuse, right? And that was constantly like, oh, you're stupid, this and that. And I began to actually believe that, right?
Yeah. Do you think that he's got some mental health issues of his own?
I think he's just a shitty person, honestly.
Do you want me to go kick his ass?
Oh, yes, please.
I'll drive to Mississauga and kick the shit out of your brother and teach him a lesson. How's that? Be good to your sister, man. Are you his only sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, so is it just the two of you? Yeah, one boy, one girl? All you guys have is each other. That's unfortunate.
I know,
really.
and I see this happen with a lot of children where, you know, the parents say, oh, it's okay, they'll just, you know, they'll just grow out of it, right? And they don't grow out of it because you're not telling them what they're doing is wrong. You're just letting them do it, and you're actually encouraging it by not saying anything, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're becoming a very strong woman, a young woman, and I think that, like, if you continue down this path of CBT and affirmations and really developing yourself into your own woman and getting rid of the values that were kind of impressed on you growing up, I think you're going to have a really powerful conversation one day with your brother and with your parents about when you're ready. But I think you're gonna have a lot to say, and I think that you should make them listen.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we'll see if they actually listen, because
hopefully,
Asian parents.
Hopefully, I don't know Asian parents, but I hear about Asian parents, and that's why you're the first female Asian on the podcast. So thank you for that. You've got you set us a record for
a record.
a record for not just that, but I'm saying, like, you've come on and you've literally opened up about 3 different things you never really talked about before. Has anyone heard your story before or parts of it?
Well, like, growing up, like, people have, people will say, like, oh, remember when you didn't used to talk and stuff? And it's just like, oh, shut up.
Right.
And they'll just keep bringing it up. And this was, like, during high school, like, get over it. I'm over it. Why don't you get over it, right? And it's just, like, stop bringing it up. And, you know, people have, like, I've grown up with people who, like, have seen me deal with it. But, like, I never really, you know, the people that saw me when I was selectively mute didn't grow up with me, like, till today, right? They saw that part of me. You know, I had people see, you know, my self-esteem issues, kind of, and then people who now have I've told about, like, my depression, my anxiety, and stuff like that. So no one has really known my entire story in its entirety, right? They know bits and pieces, and that's it. Right.
Well, you know what? It's fantastic that you've shared everything that you have tonight, and we love you for it.
Thank you.
And tell me about sort of what you've learned and what messages you'd have for other people that are potentially going through this or will go through this. Like, what have you learned through everything you've been through so far? And I know this is just the beginning of a whole new life for you.
Any sort of advice? I know people are tired of hearing this, but it does get better. Like, I've dealt with the past 16 years of dealing with these mental health issues over mental health issues. And
Right.
in the end, I am now better. And I know what it's like to constantly feel like you're fighting a battle within your own mind and feel so powerless to it. I know
Right.
what that feels like, to feel like you're fighting for nothing. I know what that's like, but in the end, it'll all be worth it because you are stronger than you think.
Yes.
And honestly, to anyone listening, you need to remember that you are loved and you are cared about and you are a blessing to this world.
Aw, sweetheart. That was so good. Let me unravel you some toilet paper here. I know it's embarrassing you to do it, so I'll do it for you. We ran out of tissue, so we went to the alternative this evening. But is there anything else that you want to say, Monika? Anything else you want to share?
I think that's the end of my story.
Your story was phenomenal,
Thank
and
you.
I really didn't know it was going in so many different directions. But like I said, I mean, you're 20 years old. I didn't really start dealing with mine until 8-9 years after you, and even then, I was still on medication. I was still struggling up until probably 2 years ago when I made some real changes. And so you're ahead of the game in my eyes, and you're going to have a really bright future.
I hope so.
I think so. I know so. I know so. So keep doing what you're doing. If you ever need anyone to talk to, I mean, it sounds like you've got a great support system with Marlon.
100%.
And with and with Spur and with all your Western friends. And I know some of them, and everyone that's come on here has been fantastic. So feel free and bring back anyone that wants to share their story by all means.
Okay.
Okay,
thank you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this evening with Monika Chhun.
Yes.
I said that right?
Yes.
Okay. And give her some support because this is her first time sharing her story. And we hope it helped other people out there because, I know that it was really great talking to you and relating to you on the mental health stuff. It's no joke. So, take care of each other out there. And we have another Woman Crush Wednesday podcast coming up with another incredible story with Miss Lauren Benson. And that will be happening in 1 hour. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time. Bye for now.